Welcome. Thanks for being here. My name is Sharon Whitefawn, and today we are going to do a yoga practice very slowly. We are working on moving mindfully. So wherever you're sitting, just sit comfortably. It doesn't matter if you're cross-legged or if your legs are extended. Be comfortable. Do lengthen your spine and open your heart, and close your eyes. Drop your shoulders down and breathe. Take a nice slow breath in through the nose. Exhale slowly through the nose. And begin to bring your awareness to the forehead. Just start to notice your skull, your eyebrows. Notice your jaw. Notice the muscles of your face. Bring your awareness to your neck and to your throat. And a slow breath in through the nose. Breathe out slowly through the nose. Let those shoulders drop. And now bring your awareness to your relaxed shoulders. And start noticing your neck, your throat, your chest, your upper back, your arms. Increasing your awareness of any bodily sensations, whether it's tightness or the bodily sensation is feeling energized or warm. Just observe the sensations in your body, around your heart, in the belly. Observe the sensations of your lower back and your hips. Nice, slow, easy breathing in and out through the nose. Bring awareness to your thighs, to your knees. This is part of our mindful practice. Bring your awareness to the ankles. Observe your feet and each and every toe. The spine is still lengthened. The heart is still open. The shoulders are still relaxed. And you're bringing your awareness to your physical body. Our mindful practice is really a practice of self-awareness. So become aware within your body, any areas that are feeling adverse, I'll say, whether it's stressed out or tense or tight or whatever you describe it as, a discomfort, we'll say. And we're not focusing on the negative. I want you to bring your awareness to any part right now. Select one part of the body that you might describe as feeling somewhat uncomfortable or any variation of discomfort. And use that slow inhale and that slow exhale to begin to dissolve the tightness. So for example, if it's in your lower back, let's say, as you breathe in slowly, bring more and more awareness to the muscles of your lower back. And as you exhale slowly, use your imagination and maybe some self-talk to that area of the body, to the lower back or wherever it is for you. Ask the muscles, please relax, please relax. And then observe whether or not the muscles did release or relax. And do it again, breathing in slowly. Stay focused on that one area. We are improving our mindfulness skills here. Using the brain, the neocortex, these frontal lobes here, the command center of your body, using that part of the brain, the frontal lobe. Command your lower back to release. Don't force it. Don't angrily scold it. Just say, like a parent would to a child, it's okay to relax. And then observe what happens there. Such a beautiful relationship, the mind to the body. Just sometimes we forget that we have that relationship, and maybe we neglect to communicate mind to muscle. So this is our practice today. Breathing in slowly. On the exhale, encouraging any parts of the body to release. So if you've been focusing on one area, now maybe you want to move to a different body part. The hips or the knees or the shoulders. Wherever it happens to be for you in this moment. Inhaling, breathing in, the awareness of where it is. Slowly exhaling, giving that part of the body permission to relax. Our mindfulness begins with self-awareness. Become more and more aware of what's happening in your body. And as you become more and more conscious of what's happening in the body, also now become more and more conscious of what's happening in your mind. For example, if it's your lower back that is feeling some type of discomfort and you're going there with the breath, you might be going there with a negative thought or a story or some drama about how the lower back got to be this way in the first place and what you shouldn't have done or what you could have done and all of this, regret or wishing or whatever. Okay, so that's where we get caught up in the panic of the mind or the story or the drama. And our mindfulness practice is observing without judgment, observing these tightnesses or whatever we're noticing without having a story, without criticizing ourselves or anybody else. Breathing in. Breathing out, letting go of any tightness. So you could begin to consider the inhalation a breath of self-awareness. So breathe in and become aware of whatever it is you're noticing, physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. And breathing out is the dissolving breath. It's the letting go breath. So maybe you need to let go of mind chatter. Maybe you can just move a little bit and release any physical tightnesses. Your mindfulness practice, breathing in self-awareness. Breathing out any stories, any dramas, any judgments. And if it's okay with your shoulder to extend this arm all the way up, go for it. And the other arm all the way out. If that's hurting your shoulder, you could rest your hand or just rest it on your thigh, whatever. But the hand that's out, regardless of where the other arm is, creep it out, out, like a little spider crawling, and go slowly. Our mindfulness practice is a slow practice today. Moving very slowly and observing every little bit of what's happening all along the way in the body and in the mind. So moving slowly, moving mindfully, breathing in that self-awareness, breathing out whatever is feeling bound or uncomfortable or certainly pain. If you've gotten so far and now your hip's in pain, please come back, come out of pain. In yoga and in life, do not stay in a painful situation. Please don't do that to yourself. We have the power. We have the ability and the skills. Practicing self-awareness, finding a tight spot here, a physical or non-physical tight spot. Exhale, soften that place, soften those places, and notice yourself opening even more. It might be a physical opening. Stay here, nice, slow breathing. If you find that you've settled in and you got complacent and you're getting sloppy and floppy, open more, lengthen more. So we're breathing out the tightness in any of the areas that we're noticing it, physical or mental. Let it go. Dissolve on the exhale. More awareness on the inhale. Awareness of your posture, awareness of wherever an area may have shifted. The discomfort may have gone from the back to the hip now or into the rib cage because the arm's been like this for a while. Breathing in, slow dissolving exhale. And then we'll just switch sides very slowly. I want you to move really slowly. This will help to increase your awareness. It's kind of easy to okay, I have my arm here and I'm going to do this. But we miss so many opportunities to mindfully move. And being as that's the focus of our practice today, moving mindfully, Creep those fingers out nice and slow. Lengthen this arm. Notice what you're feeling in the neck, in the shoulder, in the brain, in the hip, in the fingers, in the feet, in the face, in every body part. Breathe in, aware. Breathe out, let go of the struggle. Breathing in, self-awareness. Breathing out, sensations of tension, tightness, stress, and struggle. This works in the body. It works in the mind. Breathing in, awareness of whatever mind chatter might be happening. Breathing out, let it dissolve. Come to that place in between the spaces of the breath. Well, let me say that better. The space between the breaths. So we breathe in. There's that little pause, that little suspension of the breath. Breathing out. And before you begin your next inhale, there's a little pause before the inhale begins. Let's focus on the space between the breaths, that little pause. And again, if you've gotten lazy and floppy, inhale, open your awareness now on your open self, your open heart, your open mind, your opened muscles, in this case, the side of the body. And then just as mindfully as you went down, creep yourself back up. Notice all the little things happening in the hip, in the body, in the fingers, in the arm, in the shoulders, every little bit of it. Becoming increasingly more and more aware, more conscious, more connected. So the word yoga simply means union. When we practice yoga, we're really practicing uniting the mind with the body. So we're going to stay here and just move the ribs around in a circle. Breathe. While you're doing that, you're observing what's happening in the side body, the back body, the front of the body, in the shoulders, in the muscles of the face. And again, I find it's helpful, especially in this practice, to notice where your inhale ends and right before the exhale, that space. And then breathe out. Notice where your exhale ends at that space, and then begin your inhale. So continue with that focus on the ends of the inhale and the ends of the exhale and the space between the inhale and the exhale while you move your hips around in the other direction, or rather your rib cage around. Breathing in, breathing out, observing the body, noticing the thoughts in the mind without getting caught up in either story of the body or of the mind. Practicing mindful movement. Bringing ourselves back to center, we'll lengthen the neck. Take a breath in here, please. Breathe out, look over one of your shoulders. Keep those shoulders down and relaxed. Inhale, return back to center, and exhale to the other side. And go ahead and do that a few times, nice and slow. See if you can really connect the entire inhalation to the coming center and the entire exhale of turning to the side. Pause, suspend the breath. Connect with the spaces in between the breaths. A few more times. Every millimeter of movement, you are aware. Every aspect of the inhale, you're conscious. The next time your head is center, keep it there. And on an exhale, drop one ear down towards that shoulder. Right ear downward towards right shoulder. Inhale, center. Lengthen both sides of your neck. You're doing great. And to the other side. Left ear to left shoulder. Back to center, you're lengthening the neck. So we're moving slowly, we're moving mindfully. Connecting the breathing to the movement. training the brain to be calm and peaceful, training the body to be calm and peaceful. And back to center, start rolling those shoulders around. Notice every little bit of this movement, every muscle fiber, ligament, tendon, that ball and socket joint of the shoulders. Feel that happening, rolling there in that joint. Great work. And then the opposite direction, do the same thing. Big giant circles. Notice what you notice. Judge nothing. Observe. Observe silently. And when you're ready, we're going to, let's straighten out these legs for starters. Shake them out, move them around. Good. And then just begin to slowly, please go very slowly. That's really hard for many people to slow down. And I understand that. We're going to practice slowing down to calm our nervous systems, to slow down the busy brain. It's hard to make that transition from work to rest. So just slide down nice and slow and observe what's happening every bit of the way. Lower back, middle back, upper back, neck, even as your head drops down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. I'm holding my feet, but maybe for you it's more appropriate at the ankles or maybe at the knees or maybe just resting your hands on your thighs. It's okay. Wherever it's right for you to hold or for your hands to be, then do that. Now when you inhale, lift your chin, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. And when you exhale, roll back down and make these breaths just as slow as we began. I'm going to hold on at my feet. If you're clasping somewhere at your ankles or your feet, when you inhale, continue to clasp. So you really get a big stretch through the entire body, okay? And mindfully, slowly, consciously, with all the self-awareness, you're rolling down, folding yourself in half. Inhale back up again. And exhale back down again. And continue to do that a few more times. Keep going, keep going. Exhaling down. Inhaling up, keep going. Continue to do that a few more times. So moving slowly can be very difficult. Making that transition from work to rest can be difficult for many people. But we're practicing how to calm everything down. So the more we practice this mindfulness, the more we practice moving slowly, thinking, not thinking ideally, just being present without judging, without the brain going nuts, which is difficult. I know it's a practice, and over time we get better at it. And over time, with practice, we get so good at it that we can, in an instant, just calm down instead of having to take so long to come in from whatever panic we might be reeling from, whatever thing may have happened today. So practicing mindfulness regularly helps us to transition to a peaceful place more quickly when something tragic does occur. And the next time that you bring yourself up nice and slow, we're going to stay up. Being very mindful of everything that's happening with each one of those bones in your spine, with the muscles of the chest and the shoulders. Slow breath in, slow breath out. And then we're going to come to all fours. However you bring yourself to all fours. We're going to roll the toes under. Pick the knees up, so we've got a flat back here, and we're going to come into downward facing dog, breathing out. Breathing in, you're going to come back to your knees, back to all fours, breathing in. And exhale, return to downward facing dog. So it'd be way easier to just drop your knees down and get into all fours and to fling yourself up and to get into downward facing dog and drop down and fling up. But we're not doing that today. We're doing mindful movement. Roll the toes under. Notice the body weight in your feet and your thighs tightening up. Reach the tailbone up. Notice your hamstrings stretching out, your arms and your spine lengthening. Notice your core muscles working to lower you to the floor. Nice and easy. That orchestra of all the moving parts that get your body from being to all fours into downward facing dog. We're going to breathe out, down dog. Breathe in as those knees come to your mat. And we'll do that one more time. Slowly lowering the knees down, aware of everything that's happening as you breathe in. That's your self-awareness. And as you breathe out, releasing, relinquishing any stress, any struggle, any tensions. We're going to hang in downward facing dog with alternating knee bends, alternating hip presses. Do go slow. It'd be nice, sometimes we do it like this in our yoga practice. But today we're slowing everything down. So we'll press the heel of one foot while we pick up the heel of the other and switch. Slow inhalations of self-awareness. Slow exhalations of releasing the tensions and the tightnesses. Of the body, tensions and tightnesses of the mind. And at some point, encourage both heels downward. And inhale to a high plank, or you can rest the knees. Exhale into downward dog one more time. Actually, a few more times. So you have the option now to come to high plank, breathing in, and downward facing dog, breathing out. Or perhaps you want to rest those knees as we did before, but either way, we're all going slow. We're all going mindfully, observing every bit of work. Hey, and if your arms are getting a little bit fatigued, you're not alone. Next time down, we're going to stay down. And let's come into child's pose. Rest your knees slowly. Don't come collapsing down into child's pose. Observing every millimeter of movement, every bit of the transition from being from all fours or high plank into child's pose. Stay here and breathe. And from here, we're going to come forward onto the stomach and the forearms, however you get there, for Sphinx pose. So I'm up a little bit high on my elbows, but I didn't sink down into my shoulders. Did you see that? So lengthen up and out. Now, if this is too much for you, maybe bring the arms out further, or maybe just come up a tiny little bit. We're holding, we're breathing in the awareness of the back, of the hips, of the mind, of the arms, of the fingers, of the face, aware, observing, noticing. Breathing out, letting any tight spots dissolve. Go ahead and just let it all go. The tension, not the pose. So we're holding our position in yoga and in life. It's important to hold your position, hold your pose. Stand up for what you believe in. But we don't have to be tense about it. We don't have to be causing ourselves injury of the mind or the body. We don't have to approach things in a stressful manner. Right? We can say, oh, I noticed that I'm pushing myself a little bit. Let me back off a tiny bit. And then very slowly coming down, extend those arms all the way out. Stretch and lengthen your body. And then reach back with your right hand and grab your right foot, ankle, or pant leg. And if you can't quite do that, just extend the arm back. Even if you can't reach in, lift that knee up if you can. Don't worry about it if you can't. But we're opening the trapezius and the front of the body. So if you can reach your foot, you can peel that thigh up, go for it. Inhale, notice what's tight. Exhale, release the tightness, release the angst, release the stress without releasing your pose. And then slowly let go of all of that, and we're going to switch sides. And I say don't release the pose, but you're listening to your body ultimately. And if your body is saying release the pose, then listen to your body. If your back is freaking out or you have a cramp in your hamstring, yes, obviously release the pose. But for as much as you can, be with the process of self-awareness and dissolving tensions. Make sure that you're also noticing what's happening in the mind. Get rid of any tight thoughts in the brain, any stresses or struggles happening mentally. Breathe them out. And then we're going to release all of this once again and press back into child's pose, but take your time. I really want you to feel all that's going on, remaining mindful, conscious, and aware. Then we'll return to all fours, nice and slow. The hardest part about this is moving slowly. Roll your toes under, come into downward facing dog, nice and slow. And then just hold a good down dog for a breath or two. Pressing the heels, reaching that tailbone up, tuck your chin. Breathe. Take your right foot to the ceiling, stretch it up, reach it up, get that right leg up there, feel a stretch in the top of your right thigh, stay there and breathe. The left heel drops as the right foot lifts. And now we're going to bring this right foot all the way up between the hands, but take your time. Take your time. This right foot's floating down and stepping up there between the hands. And if you have to creep your toes a little bit, creep your toes. But we want to stack the knee on top of the elbow. And we're going to hold this high lunge. Inhale, lift the hips a little bit. Exhale, drop the hips a little bit. Come up onto the fingertips if you can. Inhale, lift the hips a little bit. Exhale, drop the hips a little bit. Put your hands on your hips if you can. Inhale, lift the hips a little bit. Exhale, drop the hips a little bit. If you can lift your chest all the way up, go for it. Inhale, rising up a little bit. Exhale, lowering down a little bit. Moving slowly. Inhale, awareness. What are you noticing? Exhale, dissolving. Release as much as you can. Do that again. Inhaling, self-awareness. Exhaling, anything that's binding you. And the next time up, we're going to stay up and flatten out that back foot. So your back toes are angled forward a little bit. And we're going to straighten up that front knee. So if there's a bend in the knee, see if you can straighten that. And then just turn your whole body. Leave your feet as they are, but turn your hips and your shoulders to line up more with the long line of your mat. And you can gaze forward over those front toes pointing forward. Drop the shoulders. Breathe. So I have the right foot forward. Hopefully you do. And now we're going to take that left hip and start to work it back even more. The left shoulder, work it back even more. The stance becomes very narrow and somewhat wobbly for triangle, Trikonasana. It's okay. Let the little bit of wobbliness occur if it has to. But more so, bring your awareness to the inner thighs, to the pelvic floor, and lengthen up through the body. Lengthen out through the arms. Lengthen down through the legs. Working that left hip back, that left shoulder back, and then reach the ribs forward. Reach. And float that right hand down and the left arm up. And you can continue to gaze forward or to the side or to the ceiling. But this right hand now is going down the leg, but we're going to try not to turn the hips again, right? So we've got this hip back, that shoulder back. And we're coming forward slowly, slowly. There's no goal here. It's not about where we go in yoga. It's not about where we go in life. It's how we go. Go peacefully, go calmly. Go with awareness, mindfully. Moving nice and slow, practicing mindful movement in yoga will help us to be better at mindful movement in life. When we're driving, when we're working, when we're walking, when we're interacting with others. We're getting out of the reactive mind and entering the responsive mind. Where else can you open here in triangle? Where else can you release tightness here in triangle? If you are at your toe, you could draw that toe up instead of sinking down and dropping down. Lift, open, wherever it is that works for you to open. And we're going to bend that front knee, sweep that arm around and prepare for warrior. That hips and the shoulders come to face the front line of the mat now. And we're coming up into warrior one. That back leg is straight, the front knee is bent, and the body weight is evenly distributed over both of those legs. So if you're all the way in the front leg, come out of it a little bit. If you're all the way in the back leg, come out of it a little bit. Even it up. Stay here and breathe. And then bring those arms down to float. Whoops. Bring the arms down. Interlace your fingers behind you if you can, or simply place them on your hips, whatever works better for you. And we're going to just take little tiny steps with that back foot, little tiny one. Step, 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 until you find yourself balancing. And maybe balancing for you is keeping the toe right there on the floor. Whatever works. And then slowly replace this foot on the floor next to the other one. We're going to slide the hands down these straight, strong legs. Bend your knees if you have to, get the feet flat on the floor. Walk your feet back. You could jump as well, but we're moving slow today, so I would say walk. Stay here or rest your knees. And child's pose, moving slowly into child's pose. Stay there, breathing. And then returning to all fours, roll those toes under and back to downward facing dog. And this time we're going to take that left leg up. Take that left leg up, up, up. Stretch that left leg, drop the right heel. And now we're going to bring this left foot up there between the hands. Take your time. Get it up there any way that you need to or can. Stay on the toes back there. We're going to inhale the hips up a little bit. Exhale, drop the hips a little bit. Perhaps come to the fingertips. Inhale the hips a little bit up. Drop them down a little bit. Just moving, connecting with the breath. Maybe your hands will go on your hips. Maybe you can lift your chest. And then we're going to flatten out that back foot. We're going to straighten up that front leg. And I'm just going to turn my body so that I can show you better. Good. So we got two straight legs. And again, the hips and the shoulders are going to square up with that front line of your mat. Good work. And then open up. Moving nice and slow. It's not like I got to get my arms out here so that my arms are out here. It's like, no, every bit of motion and movement and sensation in the armpits, in the elbows, in the wrists, in the neck. Taking that right hip back a little bit more if you can. Taking that right shoulder back a little more if you can. Two straight legs, body weight evenly distributed. And then the ribs of the left side, reach forward first, come out of your hips. And then float that left hand down. Good. And like I said, gazing forward or anywhere that is good for your neck. You're going to have to find that for you. Be conscious. Be aware. Still working that top hip back, that top shoulder back. Taking this hand wherever it goes, resisting the temptation to sink down into it, right? It's very up, open, lifted. It's an expansive triangle here. Breathe. Nice and slow. Inhale, what do you become aware of? Exhale, what can you let go of? Inhale, self-awareness. Exhale, releasing the physical tension, the mental stressors. And then we'll bend that front knee, sweep the arm around, pivot the hips and the shoulders now to be squared with the front line of the mat while you come up into Warrior One once again. That front knee is bent, that back leg is straight, body weight even. But more so, inhaling consciousness, exhaling that which binds you. Inhaling liberation, exhaling stuff. And we'll take a breath in here, breathing out, slowly moving those arms forward and down. Placing your hands firmly on the floor, pivoting on the back foot. Every bit of that pivot, notice it. Take this front foot back, high plank. Breathing at your high plank, resting your knees if you have to. Your stomach muscles are very much involved here. If you can come into a low plank, do so slowly. You can always rest your knees. And then we're all going to rest the belly and peel up into a cobra. Play around with your cobra. Let the breath move your body, but do it with conscious awareness. Notice when you breathe in how the breath moves your body. Observe when you breathe out where your body goes. Notice what starts happening. Make whatever modifications and adjustments you need to make. And we'll move into child's pose once again. And then we're going to come to all fours and then just onto one side, any side. Come to your forearm and your side body. So let's make a nice straight line out of this body, shall we? You can maybe take your ankle to the back line of the mat, take your hip bone to the back line of the mat, take your elbow to the back line of the mat, and then you're pretty sure you have a nice straight line versus something like this, okay? So however you get your nice straight line, almost like connect the dots, ankle, knee, hip, shoulders, and we're not slouching down here. No. Feel your strength and your power as you come up. This in and of itself is enough of a side plank. If you've been practicing yoga for a while and you want to go into a full-on side plank, go for it. Either way, you're going slowly, mindfully. Some of us might bend these knees. I don't have enough space, I'm going to move forward. So even though the knees bend, now the connecting of the dots is knees, hips, so it didn't come here, okay? So I want you to make sure that you stay open wherever your feet go. And we're just going to raise up, breathing in, lower down, breathing out. Some of us might have one leg straight and one leg bent. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Some of us might have two legs straight, inhaling up and exhaling down. Some of us might have a straight arm, inhaling up and exhaling down. If you are all the way up, don't come all the way down, okay? We'll just move this a little bit. If you're in a full-on side plank, exhale down. Do that a few more times. Knowing that wherever you have chosen to be is perfect for your body. And the next time down, we're gonna stay down. Now we can bend those knees and be a little more zigzaggy while we side body stretch. Stay here and breathe. All of this open. And then back to center, and we're gonna swing the legs around and do the same thing on the other side. So any form or variation of side plank that you like, as long as you're not zigzaggy when you're doing it, okay? It's not like this. It's really core and brain. So, whether you're choosing to have one bent leg, two bent legs, whatever, on your elbow or on your palm, none of that matters. It's not as much about what you're doing as how you're doing it. Are you being self-critical or are you being self-caring? The inhalation raises us up. The exhale lowers us. And then slowly release all of this to the floor. Notice all that's going on, whatever shakiness is happening, whatever urges are occurring, because the urge might be, let me just drop down into it. But mindfully we go. And then you can get all squiggly with your legs, whatever you like. And relax over to this side, breathing, releasing, softening. And then we're coming up from there. Very nice. And then onto your back. Don't rush it. Slowly come down onto your back. Rolling, holding a knot, it doesn't matter, just whatever. Oh, yeah. Good work. So we've got those heels close to the buttocks. We got the knees separated, the feet are apart. And we're gonna inhale those hips up. Stay up here and breathe. While you're here, notice what part of your body is doing the most work. And see if it's taken over. See if that part of your body just took control and then took power away from your shoulder blades, your neck, your upper back, your hamstrings. I consider the body like a community of muscles, and it's important for everybody in the community to work to the level of their ability. It's not fair for a stronger muscle to take over and never let the smaller muscle get stronger. It doesn't work well in the body, and it doesn't work well in our communities, our actual physical communities, whether it's a work environment or your neighborhood. Everybody participates to the level of their ability. So make sure that your feet are participating, that your calves are participating, that your knees and your hips and your back and your shoulders. Make sure your brain is participating by observing what's most tight on that inhalation. And then having that stronger relationship with the body, mind to body, saying, please relax. You don't have to work so hard, lower back. Let the hamstrings do some. And then slowly roll yourself out of that, very, very slowly. We're going to bring one knee into the chest and extend the other leg out and maybe off the floor. So off the floor is going to be more challenging. Resting it on the floor will be less challenging. You know, hopefully, what your capabilities are. And if not, explore mindfully and then choose. But we're going to bring knee to nose, maybe not actually touching, but in that direction. Breathe out. Inhale, straighten up this leg. Exhale, switch. Breathe out, knee to nose. Inhale, straighten up the leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, straighten out. Exhale. Continue with that, please. Your legs can be up or down. I'm adding a little extra extension, a little extra work here. No extra charge. So you do what's right for you. For some of us, it's enough just to do this. And so then you will do that. One more time. Very nice. And bring both knees in and just circle them around. Any direction, just move them around. Changing opposite direction, go for it. Nice. And then just roll yourself up to balance. Be here in this balanced pose, boat pose. Maybe extend the arms. Maybe straighten out a leg or two. Maybe take the arms up or not. And then see how slowly you can actually release this pose, how slowly you can bring the legs down, how slowly you can come into forward bend. Breathing in, noticing. Breathing out, stress and struggles, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, stress, struggles. Breathe them out. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And roll yourself up. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to take, I'm going to take my right leg. I encourage you to do the same. Your right leg and cross it over top your left. And then bring this leg in, the bent one, in close to the torso. And if you're slouching, sit up. Thank you. So it's going to be the left arm hugging this right leg. The left arm's hugging the right leg. And then extend this arm up, no slouching. And then bring this hand behind you or next to you, wherever it's right for you. And start to twist. Move your lengthened spine to a nice twisted position. Stay there and breathe. Inhale, observe what's tight. Exhale, let go of the tightness. And be mindful not to get lazy with this hand holding the leg. Really draw it inward so both arms are busy. One's drawing the knee in and the other one's helping you to twist further and further. Slow breath in of mindful awareness. Slow breath out of dissolving the tensions. And then we'll unwind very easily and take this leg extended out. Take the left over top of the right extended leg. Bring it in, so it's going to be the right arm now that's hugging the left knee. Really bring it in. So before you even go anywhere, even if you're slouching, you're starting to feel some lower back muscles get a nice release. I hope you're feeling something along those lines. I know I am, and it feels wonderful. Stretch up, lift up, lengthen, and then bring this hand down somewhere where you can use it as leverage to twist around. Keep that right arm busy, hugging that knee into the torso. Keep your spine busy, lengthening. Keep your shoulders busy, relaxing. Press around as much as you can. One more breath, slow breath in of awareness, slow dissolving exhale, and then we'll unwind all of that. Great work. Then we're going to just take these feet and separate them as much as you can. As much as you can, as much as feels right for you. And before you go anywhere, you're already beginning to notice that the hips and the inner thighs are opening up. Maybe the ligaments on the insides of your knees are opening up. All right, shake your ankles for a moment. Just get them moving around. Good, get those clicks out. And then, don't hyperextend your feet or get any tension there, but do try to make your toes point up instead of like collapsing here. If you can, don't hurt yourself. Be mindful. And easily, slowly, gently, lovingly, you're going to walk your hands out. Super slow, super slow. And notice when your hand moves out a tiny little bit, what else is being stretched? What else is happening? And as soon as we get into a place where the muscle's like, whoa, sometimes the mind also goes, whoa. See if you can calm both the brain and the body with this next breath. You're doing really well. Just slowly move out further if you can. And then perhaps a little more if you can. Just breathe. It might be that you can just drop your head down. Stay with it, stay with it. Maybe your forearms can rest. Maybe you can stack your fists like this and rest your forehead on there. Maybe your head comes all the way down. It doesn't matter where you go. It's how you go. Practice responding versus reacting. Practice being conscious and aware every little bit of movement in your yoga practice and in your daily routines with all that you do. Choose to be aware. So it's in our practice of self-awareness that we prevent so much pain, discomfort, injuries, even accidents. Slowing down. Slowing the brain, slowing the body, slowing the breath. And then we're going to come up from there. And then just go ahead and bring those bottoms of the feet together. We're going to butterfly these legs. Loosen up a little bit there. Relax the shoulders, relax the facial muscles, relax your jaw. And then when you're ready, come to lie on your back once again. Lying on your back this time, you're prepared for a meditation. With the palms turned up, with the legs fully extended, unless that hurts your back, then by all means you can bend the knees. So find the place that's right for your legs. That's right for your back. And relax. Release. Stay there. Walk your shoulders down from your ears. Position yourself so that your body is very comfortable. It's an agreement. Yes, I'm comfortable. I can stay here. Versus holding a position that you think is right or you're supposed to be able to do this thing. Just eliminate any types of thinking along those lines. And more than anything, get back to the observation of the slow breath that fills the belly, the slow exhale that calms the nervous system. Stay there, and just as we did in the beginning of our practice, scan your forehead, relax it. Scan the muscles of your face, release them. Observe your neck and your throat becoming more calm, and those shoulders relinquishing whatever they're holding on to. Slow breathing, full breath to the deepest part of your abdomen. And let the arms, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists feel peaceful and calm. And watch as that relaxation goes down into your lower back, into your hips, down your legs to your feet, all the way down. Slow breathing, peaceful, relaxed body, peaceful, relaxed mind. You may continue to lay there and to relax, observing the breath and giving yourself this very well-deserved time of peaceful meditation. Do what's right for you. But as you're staying in this place of peacefulness, as you may well be aware that when we are relaxed, we learn better. So in yoga and in life, maintaining a relaxed state of being is really helpful for us in progressing forward and positively in life. And to become responsive. So in our practice, we moved very slowly today because we could then perhaps make an adjustment along the way versus quickly going into this thing and be like, I just threw my back out, right? So moving slowly in yoga helps us to be aware of the little things that are happening along the way that could potentially be detrimental to us. And the same is true in life. Moving mindfully and slowly through our days and in our relationships and in our daily tasks can bring us more harmony along the way, so we can be better able to observe something coming our way that might be catastrophic. For example, I don't know, something flying across the room. I don't know why I thought of that, but any kind of thing that could be happening. When we're calm and maintaining that peaceful state of mindfulness, we can observe that that's happening and respond more appropriately, instead of, oh my God, something's flying through the air, and then freaking out, and then our cortisol levels go up, and then we get really stressed out, and then it's very hard to bring ourselves back down again. So staying in this place of peacefulness and really cultivating that in our hearts, in our minds, in our muscles, in our emotionality, in our spiritual well-being, in every way, going slowly and with that sense of awareness will help us to respond to the things that life throws at us from across the room. So I wish you the very best in your practice in yoga and in your practice of life, to be mindful and to move meditatively with awareness and releasing whatever it is that's binding you. Peace, light, and love to all. Namaste. Sat Nam.